In this video, we'll be taking apart the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell so you'll be notified once I upload a new video. I also did a drop test on this phone, as you can see from the broken camera lens, which I'll place a link for in the description if you're interested in seeing that. So we'll need to start off by removing the SIM tray. Taking a look at the SIM tray, we can see a gray rubber gasket around the opening. Now a hairdryer or a heat gun needs to be used to heat up the backplate to loosen up the adhesive underneath, and then a pry tool can be used to pry the backplate off. I prefer to use a hairdryer since there's less of a chance of damaging any of the components inside by overheating them. Here's a look at the back glass. While prying the back off, the glass cracked, probably from being weakened during the drop test and the impact it received. The crack started from one of the corners which impacted the ground from the drop. When it comes to replacing the camera lens covers, those can be replaced by applying heat and prying them off. They're held down with some adhesive, so you can replace those without having to disassemble the phone. The rings around the camera lens covers can also be pried off and removed. It's held down with some adhesive, so applying some heat will make it easier to pry it off. Here's a look at the other side. There are 18 Phillips screws which need to be removed. This is the wireless charging coil, and the NFC and ultra-wideband antenna are located here. There is also graphite film to help transfer heat. The battery cables can now be disconnected, followed by the rest of the cables. Here's a look at the top earpiece speaker assembly. This is the speaker itself, and there's an antenna board on the corner. And this is the bottom speaker assembly. There's a rubber gasket and mesh filter over the speaker opening, and this is the speaker itself. Looking at the flex cables, we can see that this flex cable assembly, as well as this one, connect the main board to the subboard, and this flex cable connects the main board to the screen. Taking a look at the main board, we see the 50 megapixel ultra-wide lens, the 200 megapixel primary camera, the 50 megapixel telephoto lens with 5x optical zoom, and the 10 megapixel telephoto lens with 3x optical zoom. Both telephoto cameras and the primary camera have OIS or optical image stabilization. The LED flash is located here. The laser autofocus and rear ambient light sensor are located there. And there's a secondary microphone on the top corner. Having a look at the other side, we see the front ambient light and proximity sensor, the connectors for the cameras which can be disconnected by popping them off, as well as graphite film and thermal paste or thermal compound on the back shield to help transfer heat. Generally, we don't see Samsung using thermal paste or thermal compound in between the back of the motherboard and the frame of the phone, since usually they use thermal or graphite pads to help transfer heat. Once the camera cage and camera assembly have been removed, we see another microphone located here. Once the graphite film has been peeled back, we see a thermal pad as well as thermal paste over the RAM and processor, as well as the ROM or onboard storage. We do see a lot of improvement on the S26 Ultra, with the increase in the amount of thermal paste and thermal compound used, as well as the thermal pad to help transfer heat. Here's a better look at the RAM which is seated over the processor, as well as the ROM or onboard storage, with the thermal paste cleaned off. The processor on this phone is a Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Now, when it comes to removing the battery, there is a pull pouch provided which is holding the battery down. In order to release the battery and remove it, there are indicated arrows on each sleeve of the pull tab, letting you know where to peel off for each sleeve to release the battery. This is the 5000 mAh battery. Once the battery adhesive pouch has been peeled off, we have a better look at the vapor chamber which runs underneath the battery, as well as the motherboard. Comparing the vapor chamber to the one from the S25 Ultra, it is nearly identical in size. There isn't a huge difference between this one or the one from the S25 Ultra. Here's a comparison between the two. There are two Phillips screws which are holding down the subboard. Looking at the subboard, we can see the primary microphone located here, and the charger port located next to that with a red rubber gasket around it. The SIM reader is located on the other side. Now another difference we can see from the S26 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. For the S26 Ultra, the haptic feedback or vibrator motor is located here, and it's not incorporated in part of the speaker assembly. Here's a better look at that. To remove the vibrator motor, just apply some heat and pry it off. The flex cable for the volume keys and power buttons is located on this side. To replace that, just gently peel off the flex cable from the frame and lift up and pull out the metal bracket which is in the slit of the frame, which will release the flex cable. As for the buttons, those can be pulled out. The 12 megapixel front facing camera is glued in place, so if you needed to replace that, you're going to have to use an X-Acto knife or a razor blade to carefully cut the glue around the sides of the camera and pull out the camera. There is a cutout over here in the frame where a 5G millimeter wave antenna would go for versions of this phone which use the 5G millimeter wave technology. And this plastic cover for the S Pen enclosure is also held down with adhesive, so if you wanted to remove that, you would just apply some heat and pry that off. Here's the S Pen. Now when it comes to this phone, if you're to accidentally insert a SIM ejector tool in the wrong hole, you don't need to worry since both the filters and the microphones are seated above the holes and they wouldn't get damaged. For the repairability score on this phone, I give it a 9 out of 10. Now it's time to put the phone back together. Once everything's back in place, apply new adhesive and reapply the back cover. Flip over the phone, power it on, and you're done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.